Welcome to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald. Live conversation and lively debate about what's trending in the Carolinas. This is Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Now here's Odi.
Well, hello there, and you're very welcome to Sunday Nights with me, Odi Fitzgerald. On the show tonight, I'm going to be talking about the Epstein list. Should beauty pageants become a thing of the past? And is Yellowstone State Park about to wake up? Yeah, I'm going to talk about that and so much more on the show tonight, so stick around. I want to hear your thoughts tonight, whatever you want to call it, on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. That is open now, 800-905-0989. Or you can get me on the WORD talk line. That number is also 800-905-0989. Don't forget, I am streaming. If you want to check out what this Irish voice actually looks like, you can go. I'm live on most of the streaming services on Facebook, YouTube, X, and what's the other one I'm on? I think I'm on Instagram as well. Not 100% sure. I think I'm on a few different ones. But you can get me on the WORD Facebook page if you want to have a little look at the leprechaun and see exactly what he looks like. But first, I gotta play this music. Of course it is. Oh, something has taken over the world. There's a new word for it. It's called being cold-played. Yeah, if you haven't heard the news yet, this is exactly what went down. Coldplay were playing a concert on Thursday night. I think it was Thursday night. It could be Wednesday night. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry if you're listening on the stream. I can't play it on the stream. Sorry about that. But it is going live out to my radio audience. Yes, of course, Astronomer. That's the company that Andy Byron used to work for. Well, they have said that the CEO, Andy Byron, has resigned days after being caught on video in an intimate moment with the company's head of human resources at a Coldplay concert. Andy Byron has tendered his resignation to the board of directors, and they have accepted. The company has said in a statement, the board will begin a search for the next chief executive as co-founder and chief product officer. Pete DeJoy continues to serve as the interim CEO. Well, in case you don't know exactly what happened, you've seen the kiss cams, right? You have seen kiss cams. You know what they do. It's when you're at a baseball game or a football game, and they will put you and your honey bunny or your squeeze or your lovekins or whatever you want to call them. They'll put you up on the jumbotron, and they'll keep you there until you kiss. And we've all seen the fun and games that have come from it, and you've seen people holding up signs saying that's my brother or that's my sister, so you know that they move on and they don't get people to kiss that obviously don't want to kiss. But Coldplay have decided to do that. You see, I'm laughing because I can actually hold up my hand and say this. In the 44 years that I've been on this planet, I have never cheated on a girl. I have never done the dirt on any girl, ever. So I can safely say, you don't do it. Don't do this kind of stuff because it's BS. You know, if you're in a relationship or a marriage, stay with that person. But Coldplay have decided that they wanted to do kind of a kiss cam and to see what the people are looking like out there. And all of a sudden, the video went to a gentleman. I'm using that term very loosely. A guy and a girl who were in a romantic embrace. He was standing behind her. He had his arms around her, and they looked like a lovely couple. But as soon as they realized they were on the big screen, they separated. Not only did they separate, but he ducked down. He cowered. He cowered away. And he snuck away. He sneakily snuck away. He knew he was caught. And then the girl, she looked and she was kind of like, oh no. And she covered her hands and her face and she ran away. But here's the thing. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, especially on the text line 800-9050-989. If they hadn't done anything, just hear me out on this one, okay? If that couple, Andy Byron and his head of HR, head of human resources, who has actually been placed on administrative leave because of the incident, if they hadn't done anything and just, embraced and maybe kind of turned away or something, or, didn't make such a big, you know, thing of it, none of us would have heard of it. None of us would have heard anything. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But on the big screen, it was in Boston. Yeah, it was in Boston on Wednesday night. He had his arms around the chief people officer, Miss Kristen Kobat. Now, don't forget, Byron, he's a married man. So not only has he messed up his entire life because, well, is he going to get hired by anybody again? Probably not. He's messed up his entire marriage. You can guarantee that his wife is not going to take him back after that. Well, they hid and they went off. And when it was on, the lead singer, Chris Martin, he said either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. That was in the video. Have you seen the video? Have you seen the video? And what do you think? Is it something? Is it something? Should he have run away? Should he have hidden? Or this is my 2 cents. Don't mess around. Just going to put that out there. Don't mess around. After the concert, so there was a concert again last night. There was a Coldplay concert again last night, and the lead singer, Chris Martin, he gave advanced warning. He said, he stood in front of the crowd and he said, "We would like to say hello to some of you in the crowd and put some of you on the big screen." The musician, he said this on Saturday before the concert in Madison. He said, "How we're going to do that is we are going to use our cameras to put some of you on the big screen." Chris Martin, who he's a dad of 2, and he was telling everybody. So basically what he was doing was he was giving them a warning and a heads up without actually giving them a warning and a heads up. Chris Martin, who is 48 years of age, he laughed before he said all this and adding, "Please, if you haven't done your makeup, do your makeup right now." You see, I absolutely think that's hilarious. But you see, here's the thing, is that social media is after taking it, grabbing it, and going with it. I mean, even your lovable Irish rogue who is on your radio here, News Talk 98.9 on Sunday nights. Remember, I am the first show of the week because, yes, we all know that they save the best for first. Yeah, they save the best for first. Listen, it's something I'm penning, saving the best for first. Yes. And this is obviously the first show of the week here on the yeah, no, it is. It is. Sunday starts out your week. It does, because you're sitting at home and you're thinking about going to work on Monday. So therefore, Sunday starts the week. Text me if I'm wrong. I'm not. I'm 100% wrong. Text me in. Text me in if you think that, first of all, the world shouldn't have made a big deal about it, or should they have made a big deal about it? And you know what? This is all completely anonymous, like 100% anonymous. Text me in if you want to get something off your chest. If you want to do it, I'm not telling you have to, but if you want to do it, you want to get something off your chest, and if you want to say, you want to confess to Odi, confess to your Uncle Odi. Text line is wide open. You can say, "Odi, I did it. I cheated on somebody." I don't judge. You shouldn't do it, but yeah, no, I'm not going to judge. On the text line already, Odi, I don't mess around. You start telling lies, and then you have to remember your lies and make up other lies to support the lies, and then more lies, and then you have to tell more lies. It's just too much trouble. Odi, yes, I have cheated many times. For some reason, I can't stay in a normal relationship. And that comes in from a female listener. Okay. Odi, no, never cheat. Um, they never cheat. In the Bible, it says, okay, I didn't know it says that in the Bible. Odie, yes, I do, and I have cheated, and I don't think I'll ever stop. Okay. I think that's from a guy, not too sure. Odie, no, never cheated, never will cheat. No intent, no, yeah, no. Another one here. Odie, yes, yes. He was 100% right to call them out on it, and we are 100% right to keep it in the media. All right, fair enough. Let's see what's on the stream. Nothing. Lots of different stuff happening on the stream. Nothing about Coldplay. Maybe people just don't like Coldplay. Odie, that was a classic case of karma right there happening at a Coldplay concert. See, here's the thing. This is what the guy said, right? This is where, let me just see here now because I have it saved and I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to look at it here. If you're watching on the stream, you'll see me frantically going through my phone. Andy Byron said, I want to acknowledge the moment that has been circulating online, and I am disappointed and the disappointment it has caused. It was supposed to be a night of music and joy, turned into a deeply personal mistake, playing out on a very public stage. I want to sincerely apologize to my wife and family and the team at Astronomer. You deserve better than this as a partner, father, and as a leader. This is not who I am, except it is. This is not how I want to be and not how I want to represent the company I helped build. I'm taking time to reflect and taking accountability to the future to figure out the next steps, personally and professionally. I ask for privacy at this. I ask for privacy at this time. No. See, here's the thing. He says this is not who I am. He said this is not who I am. But obviously, it is who you are because surprise, surprise, buddy, you cheated. You cheated on your wife, you cheated on your family, you disgraced your crew, and text line, I have too much hair on my chest. Please help. I don't, is that from a guy or a girl? Not 100% sure. Some actually, shall we go into another segue? To my female or male listeners out there, do you like a guy with a hairy chest? I'm just asking out this. Look, this is the questions that get asked here on Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald. Do you like a guy with a hairy chest? I'm just putting it out there. That's all I'm doing. If Astronomer can't, what's this? If the audio hadn't, if he hadn't canoodled on camera, they wouldn't be in trouble now. And that is the thing. They did. They canoodled on camera and they've messed it up for themselves. They did it to themselves. They did. You're listening to Newsdog 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Karma Carolinas. Kerrygold. Why is there two? I don't know. Okie dokie. Karma Police. Carmelinas. Oh, hello there, Husey. You changed the lock street times. Lots of very crazy text messages coming into the show tonight. Do, 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 do. And you're very welcome back to the show. Now, I'm after getting in a couple of very strange text messages. Uh, so, a lot of people are saying, no, hell no, Odie, I wouldn't do anything like that. Definitely not. I love my husband very much. Fair enough. Now, listen, see, here's the thing. I, yeah. If you're playing the drinking game of when Odie says, here's the thing, please play it responsibly. Yes, that was a message I heard as well. Lots of people are getting in touch. Odie, this guy is a guy who invited you to go to the. Oh yeah. No, I will. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you very soon about that. What else have we got here? Odie, I absolutely love your show and look forward to it every Sunday night. Today, my kids wanted some Kraft mac and cheese, and I Irished it up a little bit. I used some Kerrygold. And I'm listening to Kneecap. So yeah, if you haven't heard, Kneecap are a Irish rap group and they use the Irish language as well. They use the Irish language a lot. They're ever so slightly controversial. That's all I'm going to put out there. Is just they're extremely controversial. So listen at your own discretion. That's all I will say to you about that. Odie, no to hairy chests. Don't like hairy chests. If I wanted a gorilla, I would go to the zoo. Okay. Odie, I like a man. See, this is something I'm going to talk about now in 1 second. Odie, I like a man with a monetarily hairy chest. That's a hard word to say. It's a monetary hairy chest. but not so hairy that if we go to the zoo, I drive home and someone asks me, was a gorilla escaped from the zoo by mistake? Yeah, yeah. No, and this came in as well. This actually, I'll read this one first. Odie, uh, a guy here. I'm omitting names, and he says I like hairy women. Okay, girls that let their leg hair grow. That Sasquatch look. I love it. Now I don't know, Texter. I don't know if you're being tongue in cheek a little bit. Maybe you do. Maybe you absolutely love women with hairy legs or hairy armpits or whatever it is. I don't know, or a beard. Do you like? I don't know. Different. I mean, as we've said before, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I am not going to judge, not even slightly going to judge, as every single guy out there knows, every single gentleman and lady, they all know that in the winter months, when you get into bed, the hairy legs. There's probably no. And where's this all coming from? Well, we asked a question about hairy gentlemen earlier on, and and somebody's actually asked, "Odie, have you got a hairy chest?" No, not really. Well, a little bit, not a whole lot. A text message that come in, Odie, I absolutely love this show because God only knows what you're going to be talking about. It's a little bit refreshing. Sometimes you talk politics, sometimes you talk absolute waffle, and sometimes, more often than not, your topics are extremely interesting. See, and that's what I love. That's what my topics are about. Like, seriously, a lot of the stuff I talk about, people say it to me. People say it to me all the time when they're talking to me in public. Where do you come up with some of the stuff that you think about? Well, what I literally do is I have on on my iPhone. I have an iPhone and I have notes. You know the Apple Notes. You can take notes on it. I go through that, and if something pops into my brain, if there's a conversation I'll have with somebody, or if somebody asks me a question, I'll write it down. I'll write it down. I'll keep a note of it, keep track of it, and I've hundreds of different topics or something that pops into my brain. I'd literally, I could be driving. I could be going for a drive. I could be going somewhere, and something will pop into my brain, and it'll be, oh yeah, no, I need to talk about that on Sunday night. So yeah, literally anything at all, I will talk about, because sometimes it's funny, like hairy chested people or people liking ladies with hairy body parts. Look at, I am not one to judge, not even slightly one to judge. But yeah, a lot of people have said that some of the topics that I come up with are very different. And the thing is, I do talk politics. I bring politics into it every now and again. Whenever something big happens, I will talk about it. Like when the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, that was live. When Donald was inaugurated, that was there. Whenever Biden was in power, whenever he done that, and sleepy, yeah, I talked about it as well, and I will talk about it. And if people ask me about Irish politics, I'll talk about that too. On the stream, even this one, Odie, isn't Irish the same as Gaelic? And also, do you know the German band Rammstein? Yes, I know exactly who Rammstein are. No, Irish is a part of Gaelic. The Gaelic language covers three different languages. Yes. So Irish is part of the Gaelic language. It covers five different languages, actually. But yeah. So there you go. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. It is the voice of the Carolinas. Oh, John, rabbit holes. Rabbit holes. I make rabbit holes. I find rabbits. I know I do. I like I don't. The thing is, I take life seriously when I have to. There's certain times in my life where I have to take life seriously. But this is not one of them. Well, tonight is not one of them because there's not a huge, massive amount of stuff happening. There's always something big happening. There's always news happening. But sometimes, John, and whoever else is listening, I like to look at the lighter side of things. I like to look at the friendlier side of things, the easier side of things, because I just I just sometimes sometimes life gets a little bit hectic for everybody. So, I like to look at the nice side of things. Braden, what have you said to me? Interesting, because when you mentioned Irish, I was thinking about soldier songs, about the Irish version of Albu Gach Bryth. Oh, that's yeah. So to go further on what I said, that Gaeilge, the Gaelic language. So the Gaelic language covers Irish, which is called Gaeilge. So you've Gaelic, which is the umbrella, and inside that you've got Gaeilge, which is Irish, the Irish language. You've got Welsh, which is the Welsh language, which I don't speak any of. You've got Scots Gaelic, which is the Scottish version of it's like the Scottish language. Um, People from Scotland and people from Ireland can communicate with each other because the words are similar. Reading them is completely different, but we can communicate with each other. But yeah, so you've got the Welsh, Irish, Gaeilge, Scots Gaelic. You've got Manx, which is spoken in the Isle of Man, which I've never heard. I've never actually heard it spoken. So that is something completely different. And there's another language, and I cannot remember it. I think, I think it is no, I can't remember where it is. I think it's the Canary Islands, or not the Canaries, the Channel Islands. I think there's a dialect spoken down there, and I don't know it, but I know there is a few. That's what I tried to do, buddy. Sorry, John. Yeah, that's rabbit holes for everybody. Gatorade. What am I talking about when I come back? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I come back. It's all right, Braden. That's what I do. Try it. I certainly try. I need a haircut. I'm not going to shave it. I'm just going to get like this all. I look like a microphone. Look at me. Microphone, me. Practically the same. No, not back yet. Sorry, there's Aquaman is on the TV. Now, I don't like the movie at all, but it's on, so I'm just watching it. So every now and again, if you see me looking over this way, I'm watching the TV because everything in the rest of the show is set up. So and you're very welcome back. Now on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800-905-0989. Odie, this is the guy to give you the invite to go to the Toys for Tots ride with us. But I've got something I need to get off my chest. We missed you last week. Sorry, I wasn't here last week. We are big fans. Ride safe. Um, if you need to get in contact with me, you can get me on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. As I said, 800 905 0989. Or you can get me on my work Facebook, Odi underscore Fitzgerald. Just look it up, ODI underscore Fitzgerald. All right. You can't miss me on there. Now, there has been something has happened over in the UK. It's never happened before. It is it's controversial to say the least. The voting age in the UK, there has been mixed kind of reactions from it. The Britain's government have announced that they are going to lower the voting age from 18 down to 16, and that's going to happen before the next national elections. Now, if you're not sure about that, obviously the king is not elected; he's divine, and all. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. What's it they say in Monty Python? We shouldn't have a monarch because some watery tart with a sword. Excalibur and a king found from a sword. Anyway, look at. We're not going to talk about the whole monarchy. Not getting into it. But the government, like the prime minister and all that, you have all the different parties. You have the Green Party, the Labour Party, you have the Liberal Democrats. There's lots and lots of different parties in England. They try to find their prime minister. So they have lowered the age from 18 down to 16. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Should we here in the United States do the same thing? Should we bring the voting age from 18 down to 16? Now, I have a little bit of a problem with this. Not a huge problem, but just something to think about. Would you trust a 16-year-old to make big decisions? Yes, I know. We let them into cars. I think is 16 the legal age for a learner's permit? I think it is. Like most of the states in the United States, most of the US states, a person becomes legally recognized as an adult at 18. Now, this to me kicks up a couple of problems. I understand that if you're 18, you have the right to vote and you can get married legally without getting your permission from your parents. Of both parties, if the husband or the future husband and the future wife are both 18, they can get married. You can, as I said, vote. You can go and fight for your country. You can enlist in the armed services at the age of 18. You don't need parental permission to do that. But some states, like Alabama and Nebraska, they have a higher age is 19, and Mississippi has set everything at 21. And that's the question I'm asking tonight. Do you think a person is an adult at the age of 18 or at the age of 16? Why is it? And I know I've asked this question before. I'm going to ask it again. Is if someone is 18 and they're going to sign up for the military, they're going to go and they're going to fight for their country, and they could possibly die for their country. Remember that. If they sign up at the age of 18. And I commend, there's actually a young gentleman that I know, a good guy, I'm not going to mention him, but he's going off to join the Army Reserves very soon. And his plan is to go into the army, the full-time army. And I wish him the best of luck with that because, I want to see him again and I want him to stay safe. But you can go and you can sign up at 18. You can go and fight for your country. You can get married. You can legally have kids. But you can't have a beer. Just think about that for 1 second. If you're 18 years of age, you can go and you can get married. And on your wedding night, you can do what people do on their wedding nights safely and legally. But you can't have a beer. You can't celebrate by having a beer. Now, I know, yes, I am a teetotaler. I'm probably one of the only Irish people that that doesn't drink. So I look for beer for me is non-gratis. It doesn't really bother me. But you can't have a beer. So if we're going to reduce the age to vote, I wonder, should we reduce that age? If you're an adult at 16, I'm just curious. But here's the other flip side of it. If you do a heinous crime, if you commit a murder, for argument's sake, at the age of 16, you are tried Now, yes, I know there is some mitigating circumstances, but if you commit a heinous crime at the age of 16, you were tried as a minor, as a juvenile. If you're over the age of 18, you're tried as an adult. So does that mean that if we were to lower the age of voting down, if we're considering people at the age of 16 to be an adult, does that mean that if you do a crime at the age of 16, you can then be tried as an adult? Would you think that's fair? Would you think that's Do you think it should be something right? On the text line, Odi, voting age was lowered to 18 to March. Voting age was lowered to 18 to match the military draft. It was a mistake. We should have insisted on raising the draft age to 21 to match up the voting age. Texter, I'm with you on that one. I can honestly say, as I sit here tonight in the studio talking to you, I can honestly 100% say at the age of 16, I didn't know. I was going to use an Irish term or phrase there, but I wouldn't have been allowed to. I didn't know my butt from my elbow. I didn't. I didn't even have a proper girlfriend at the age of 16. Now, yes, I know that was nearly 30 years ago. But I don't think a person at the age of 16, first of all, a person at the age of 16 does not know what they want to do for a living. They have a rough guess. I was actually talking to a friend of mine is over from Ireland at the minute, and he brought his 3 kids over. And they lived here in America originally, but they moved to Ireland for a while, and they're back over here on vacation. And his son is literally just after turning 16, and we had a conversation. I said, "So, what, buddy? What do you want to do with your life?" "Oh, I don't know. I might be a paramedic," which is very admirable. A 16-year-old kid saying that he's wanting to be a paramedic, but they don't know. I mean, he could change his mind in a year's time. In 2 years' time, he could decide that he wants to be a pilot or work on a radio station. One of his daughters, I said it to her. I said, "What are you doing?" She's going into college. She's 18. She's considered an adult. I said, "What do you want to do with your life? Or what are you doing in college?" And she was chatting away to me, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to do chemistry." And I remember talking to her when she was 14 or 15, and she said to me, "Oh, I want to do biology." Yeah, 100% want to do biology. That's what I'm going to do. Biology is the one for me. Cut to 2 years later, no, chemistry. And I want to change something. See, I don't think, I think the UK is wrong on this one. I think England is wrong on this one in the fact that they're trying to get, are we trying to make kids older before they should be? Are we taking away youth? Are we taking away innocence? I've been saying that before. I've said that a few times before, that I think we're trying to get kids to grow up too quickly. Kids need to be kids. Kids have to be kids. Yeah, look it. I know I left the house. I left my parents' house at the age of 18. Literally, like, just after I turned 18, I left. I went and I got my trade, went on to do my engineering degrees, and I was young. 18 was young. When I look back now to when I was 18 and I left home, I was a baby. I was a child. I was not ready for the big bad world. And that's something else, is that I don't believe I don't believe that our kids are being taught how to be adults. We're teaching them. We're teaching our kids how to get on in the world. At the minute, my son is 5 years of age. I'm not teaching him about, I'm teaching him how to be a good person, but I'm not teaching him about how to save money, and, well, ever so slightly, but I'm not teaching him economics. I'm not teaching him how to pay his taxes. I'm not teaching him how to, you know, go to the DMV, and we don't know this kind of stuff. It's something that isn't being taught in the schools, and we're expecting kids at the age of 18 to be adults. I don't know. I don't know. I think probably the reason that I've been talking about this is, maybe, I believe that kids need to stay kids for longer. Maybe I feel that kids need to stay. You know, I don't know. I don't know. When I get back, Do you know that you don't have to use cash at a business? Yeah, that's something that I found strange. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WORD. It is the voice of the Carolinas. John, what is the weather doing, buddy? Williamston. Is that Georgia? Is Williamston Georgia? Where's Williamston, buddy? Doom. Yeah, I go with that. I want to go see a cliff. I know that's a very weird statement and sentiment, but I'd like to go see a cliff. There was lots of cliffs around Ireland, and I like them. I want to go see a cliff. Oh, there's Amber Heard. Look at her, looking for a bed to do something on. Hey, all the crew that have said hello. Sanjay, Lee, Beth, Mark, Randall, Mike, Emma, John. There's no cliffs in Anderson. Oh, yeah. Williamston and Anderson? Mr. Williamson? Just if you haven't, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the age limit for voting. The voting. Oh, we talked about. Oh, yeah, the voting age was lowered to 18 to match the military draft. It was a mistake. It should have been raised to 21 to match the voting age. Odi, liberals claim that the brain isn't fully developed until the age of 25. So even at 24, criminals should be tried as children. Make 25 the voting age for liberals. I can see where the liberals are coming from. I get that. I get what you're saying. I can see where the liberal. I don't know. Is the brain fully developed at the age of 25? Does it take that long? I don't know. I don't know. I know some kids can be doing really. I know this Irish guy, for one, done some very stupid things when he was 20, 21, and 22. I was in Australia when I was 24. I did some very, very stupid things. 23, very stupid things over there. Odi, the taxpayer status should be the criteria for those who are able to vote. Taxpayers only. You know what, Texter? I agree with that one. So if you're not paying taxes, you shouldn't vote. Does that mean if you're living off the government as well, you shouldn't get a decision? Listen, I just said it. Okay. Can of worms is about to open on that one. Now, I was talking to a very good friend of mine who went to the cinema with his wife a couple of days ago. And he said to me, Odi, did you know that the cinema, I'm not going to mention the cinema that he was talking about, but he said the cinema would not take cash. They wouldn't take MasterCard or Visa, whatever, cold hard currency. He said he had a couple of $20 bills or 30 or 20, a few $20 bills, because you know as well as I do that the cinema is after getting, the movies is after getting extremely expensive, ridiculously expensive. Unless you go on Tuesdays, which Matthew Causey from the news desk, he says the cheapy Tuesdays. I think that's a big thing. But yes, if you go to the cinema now, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be a big night out. It's going to be, you're paying for the movie and the popcorn and all that fun stuff. It ain't cheap. But my buddy, he was telling me that he went with his wife, and they wanted to pay, and he had cash, he had money, like cold hard cash, and the girl said, "No, sorry, we don't take cash." And then he took out his card, whatever card, a debit card, credit card, and he paid with his card. And then he went up to, buy some popcorn or nachos, or I'd love some nachos now, but popcorn and nachos and a soda, whatever it was. And same thing. Sorry, sir, we don't accept cash. You have to pay with a card. And that got me thinking. And I know it has you thinking too. Currency, like the legal currency is the dollar. Am I right? I'm right in saying that. The legal currency here in the United States of America is the dollar. I mean, it's the almighty dollar. It's been called many times. If I look in my wallet, there's a couple of dollars sitting in there now. So does that mean that to pay for some things, I mean, I know, and if you go to, let me see, if you go to a car dealer, okay, if you go to a car dealer and you want a Ford F-150. Now, if you're lucky enough, if you have the means behind you, or if you saved quite a lot of money, and you say to the dealer, how much is that car? And he'll say, it's $37,000. You could be buying a basic enough model. Or maybe we'll say $40,000. Okay. You say it's $40,000. Okay. How much if I was to give you dollar bills, $100 bills, cash money? You know as well as I do that he's going to reduce that price. If you give him cash money, he is going to reduce that price. You go for a service, just say a manicure. Okay. I have never gotten a manicure. If you're looking on the stream now, you can see my nails. They are terrible. Never gotten a manicure in my life. But if you went and you got a manicure and you said, what's the price? Oh, $50. Okay, fine. Yeah. What's the price if I pay cash? It could be $45. I'll give you a very simple, a very quick one. The barbecue joint very close to my house. They've got two different prices. They've got the cash price and they've got the card price. Last thing I remember is that you have to take legal currency. You have to take the money. South Carolina businesses and retail with a retail license are required to accept cash payments for transactions. This means that they cannot refuse cash payments from the payment of goods or services. But this is a law that's coming in, not there yet. The law specifically mentions that the SC H3971 mandates that retail businesses holding a license must accept cash payments when a customer is physically present. This is intended to protect customers who may not have access to other payment methods like credit cards or digital payments. Essentially, while federal law does not mandate cash acceptance, South Carolina has chosen to legislate in favor of customers requiring retail business to accept cash. So there you go. Like, it's coming in now. I don't know if it has definitely made its way in. It's a bill. Business guys coming. No, yeah, it's a law that aims to ensure customers who prefer to pay with cash can still make purchases. I think that is a bill. I think that is a bill that needs to pass. And one of the big reasons that I say that is, you remember when the hurricane came through? Remember when Helene came through? Devastated, absolutely devastated. Some parts of South Carolina and some parts of North Carolina. I mean, we were all without power for a long time. Remember when you had no electricity? Do you remember when you went to get your groceries at the stores? I went to my local grocery store and they said, "Have you got cash?" I said, "I do." Well, come on in. If I didn't have cash, they said to me, "You can come in, but we've only got one machine that will read credit cards." And it wasn't just one place; it was everywhere. You know, lots of places. I went to get gas, and the girl said to me, "There's something not right with our pumps at the minute. You can prepay with $50 or whatever it is, and come back, and I'll give you the money." Like, fair enough. I went to an ATM. Yeah, yeah. I went to an ATM, and it wasn't working. I couldn't get out any cash. All I'm saying is that we need to have cash. We need to, companies, businesses need to accept cash, and some people don't have it. There is people, and you can believe this or not, there is people out there that do not have bank accounts. There's people out there that refuse to have bank accounts, and they get paid with checks, and they go and cash their checks, and they keep their money in a safe, or they keep their money under the mattress. I personally don't do that. I bank. That's what I do. I use the bank. But yeah, no, there is. Odie, young Americans have a lot of trouble figuring out how to make change correctly. They do. Oh, don't even get me started on that. If you give them, yeah, if you give, just say if something is $19.50 and you give them a $20 bill and two quarters, they look at you as if, what? Why are you after doing this to me? What are you after doing? Why? Odie, new car world, cash is rarely king. Oh, they make more profit out of financing. They do make more profit out of it, but yeah, if you wave some crisp $100 bills under your car dealer's nose, any car dealers out there, would you give a cash discount? I bet you would. I bet you would. Not saying you would. I bet you would. Odie, there's often a fee for paying with debit and credit card. There is. When I come back, I've got a big one for you. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. Nearly ran out of time on that one. See? Texas passed a law to make up. I mean, that's the thing, is that money is an agreement to pay gold. That's what it is. If you give somebody a $50 bill, right? What the money signifies is that you owe this person $50 worth of gold. And basically, all we're doing is handing them back and forth nonstop. We're just giving $50 bills or whatever, $20. I'm not giving $50 bills. I don't have $50 bills. $20 bills back and forth, and that's what it is. So you're agreeing to give a payment worth of gold to that person. So gold was always the legal tender. But yes, there you go. It's off the US standard or the gold standard. Oh, Shark Week is this week. Shark Week. Hoo ha ha. I like Shark Week. I've always liked Shark Week. I like sharks. See? See my shark? That's my shark. That's Bruce. Doodle ding ding. Doodle ding 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 ding. Shark Week. Hoo ha ha. Shark Week. Hoo ha ha. That's gonna be stuck in my brain now. Shark Week. Hoo ha ha. Oh yeah, where's my invite to the burgers on the grill? Oh yeah. I know I could do without burgers. I will be talking about that. Go make sure they're not burning. Thanks, buddy. The Great Santuni. I don't know who Great Santuni is, but I mean, you're there. Thanks for listening. I don't know what AOL is. We didn't have AOL back in Ireland back in the 90s. Oh look, I have to do radio. And you're very welcome back to the second hour of Sunday Nights with me, Odi Fitzgerald. I'm going to hit off with a big one this hour. Don't forget, I will be talking a little bit about beauty pageants later on. And I am talking about Yellowstone, the park, not the show. You can get me on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800 905 0989 or on the WORD talk line 800 905 0989. If you saw a pregnant woman smoking, what would you do? I really, really want to hear your thoughts on this. As I said, text line is wide open. You can get me there anytime throughout the show. And even if you think of something later on in the show and you want to you want to reverse back to a topic, then by all means give me a text there. But if you saw a pregnant woman smoking, would you say anything? Would you do anything? As you know, women that smoke during pregnancy, it can lead to miscarriages, it can lead to stillbirths, or it can lead to preterm births. There's a huge risk of miscarriage, and stillbirths are highly linked to smoking during pregnancy. Miscarriages is also one of those things. But would you do anything? Would you walk up to them and say, "Excuse me, madam, but you're not only shortening your life, but you're shortening your child's life as well." Texts have already started coming in. I will get to your text very, very soon. I promise. I asked this question. I asked this question from a couple of people, a couple of friends of mine. And I said to them, if you saw a pregnant lady in the street smoking, what would you do? And they all said, nothing. I'm not going to go up to the person. I'm not going to go to a person. I'm going to mind my own business. I'm going to keep my nose where it belongs. And then I said to them, if you knew the person, if a family friend or a member of your family, and this is the second question I'm going to ask you as well, get your text into me. If a family friend or your daughter or your wife or your aunt or your sister or anybody close to your family, if they were smoking while pregnant, would you do anything? Would you say anything? Again, I asked a few people that question as well, and they all said the same thing to me. Yes, I would say something. I would ask them to stop. I would ask them, I'd say to them in a quiet moment. I wouldn't, a lot of people have said that they wouldn't make it a big deal, but in a quiet moment, they'd walk up to them and just say, you probably shouldn't be doing that. It's probably not great for the baby's health. It's not great for yours. Now, the reason I ask this, and it's something that was on my brain for quite a while, I've been thinking about it for quite some time, is that many, many years ago, around Christmas time, I was with the Lions Club. I was with the Lions Club in Ireland for a while, and we were collecting for the poor and needy at Christmas. We collected. It was a food collection, and I enjoyed doing it. I really did enjoy doing it. I liked helping out. And I actually I must join one of the Lions clubs here in America in the next couple of years, if not months. I definitely must get in with the Lions Club again. But yeah, I saw a very good friend of mine. Now I know she's the only person that smokes in the house, and I saw her walking out of the store with about 4 packets of cigarettes, and she was very pregnant. And I just said it to her. I was like, I'm not going to mention her name. Well, we'll call her X. And I said, "You come here." No, I'm not going to call her X. Come here for one sec. I said, are them cigarettes for you? And she said, yeah. And I says, really? And she told me to mind my own business. And she said, what has it got to do with you? And I said, well, nothing really. But and she went about her day. And I kind of felt like maybe I shouldn't have said anything to her. But at the same time, I was like, well, maybe I should have. Maybe it would make her think, but probably won't. But if you saw a pregnant lady, and please get your texts in. If you saw a pregnant lady drinking alcohol, what would you do? Would you mention it to her? There's actually a disorder which I know of well. There's a family friend who has it, It's fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. It's FASDS. Okay. And it's an encompassing a massive range of physical and behavioral and intellectual disabilities. And it can include learning disabilities, speech and language delays. And I know a little kid, and I think he's 7. I think he's 7 or 8. And he's got all this because his mom drank when she was pregnant. And people said it to her. And the last one I'm curious about, I'm very curious about, is if you were driving along on the road and you had your window open and you were nice sunny day. I mean, it's a lovely sunny day. You don't have the air conditioning turned on all the time. You have your window open, and you happen to come up beside somebody else, and they're driving, and they've got kids in the car. They might have 2 or 3 kids in the back seat, buckled in their car seats, and they're smoking. So therefore, you've got young kids in a car with an adult who should know better. Well, I'd like to call him an adult, but inconsiderate Yahoo is probably a better word for somebody who's doing this. And they're smoking with their kids in the car. Would you say anything? Because remember, those kids are inhaling half of those cigarettes. Every cigarette someone smokes, a kid is inhaling half of it if they're in the car or more. Did you know it's against the law? It's against the law. It is unlawful for a person to smoke tobacco product in a motor vehicle while the person has somebody who is less than 18 years of age as a passenger. Any tobacco product means a product that contains tobacco and is intended for human consumption. So if you see somebody in the car vaping and they've got a kid in the car, that's a big no-no. As I say, I'm really, really just curious as to what you would do, whether you would talk to the person, if it's a complete stranger. I know a lot of people, all the texts coming in, Odi, if it was a stranger, I wouldn't even look at them. If it was lots of people, Odi, my sister was smoking when she was pregnant. We had a massive row about it. Odi, there was lots of people I know who were smoking while pregnant. Odi, my sister drank and smoked while pregnant, and the kid came out with deficiencies. Yeah, I don't know why people do that. Odi, I try to explain to a friend that cigarettes are $10 a pack. I didn't know that. I didn't even know they are. And that she should put that money towards buying a house or funding the baby's trade school or college. That's a great one. That is a great one. Odi, I saw a pregnant woman smoking a couple of years ago, and I said nothing, but I wish I had. I would do different now if it was a family, if it was a friend or a family. Odi, I would. Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, look at it. I know where you're coming from on that. Odi, it's against the law in several states, including Arkansas, to smoke in a car with children. It's against the law here. Same goes for alcohol and smoking around children. Yeah, see, like I grew up in Ireland, and yes, I'm going to stereotype the living crap out of this. Um, Ireland is known for alcoholics. It is. I mean, any Irish people that are listening to the show tonight or listening back on Facebook or on YouTube, they'll know that Ireland is known for heavy drinking. Now, it's probably a little bit more known for, but yeah, Irish people know how to party. And I was in pubs as a kid. It was a natural thing. But now as a parent, as a dad, I wouldn't bring my kid to a pub. And I know you go to bars and you'll have food, like you'll go to some of the establishments and there's a bar in the place, but I won't bring him over near the bar. We'll sit in the booth, we'll have food, we'll talk, and we'll leave. And I won't expose him to alcohol and to smoking. I'm not going to. There's no point. He's going to know what they are eventually, but I'm not going to expose him to it. Odie, I said it to somebody as well, and now we're not talking. That was 10 years ago. I hate to hear that, but yeah. It's just something that popped into my brain, and I just wanted to know about it. I wanted to know what your thoughts are about it. And keep the text coming into me. Seriously, keep the text coming into me. A lot of people, as I say, a lot of people are saying if it's somebody on the street, they're not going to go near them. But if it is somebody near and dear to me, I definitely would say something to them. When I get back, beauty pageants. Oh, Odie's on a roll tonight. Oh, big time. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WORD. It is the voice of the Carolinas. Give me a second, folks. Sorry, guys. Had to drop the mic for a second. Great Santini or Tooney, I would say Tin Lizzy. Yeah, Tin Lizzy, I would imagine. And you're very welcome back. I'm going to go straight to the WRD talk line. We have Richard in Dallas. Richard, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about yourself?
I can't complain. A little bit sunburned, but other than that, I'm having a great weekend.
Well, you'll have to stay out of the sun or put on more sunscreen.
Yeah, a little bit too Irish for the South Carolina heat, but I'm getting used to it. So, Richard, I was talking a couple of minutes ago about pregnant women smoking, and it touched a nerve with you. Do you want to let me know?
Yes, it did. And I'm
it.
gonna tell you what my thoughts are on it. And these are not my thoughts. Really, I've observed this. I'm 70 years old, and I'm actually a great grandpa. All right. Listen, when a woman finds out she's pregnant, and she may enjoy drinking and smoking and living the high life, but when she decides that she's going to give birth, they have an option. You understand? I mean, it's not the way to go, but if she does not quit her bad habits, drinking and smoking, she does not care about that child.
Yes.
And it will show.
Yes.
It will show. It will show in the future after that child's born and how she chooses to raise that child. I'm telling you, man, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Richard, I'm 100% with you on that. If they don't care in those early stages, they just don't care.
That's right, and you're not going to change at all. When they're 12 or 13 years old, you're going to have them at your dinner table, letting them drink beer and crap like that. You understand?
No, I do. Richard,
and listen, you was talking about confronting women about smoking and being pregnant. Some of these women nowadays, man, they'll cuss you. If you was to say something to a pregnant woman like, "Hey, baby," I'm not baby, "Hey, young lady, that's not good for you, unborn." Oh man, she'll fly into you like just a hornet.
Yeah,
You know, saying cussing and carrying on like, "Who are you to tell me?" I mean, hey man, I like the show.
Cheers, Richard. Thanks very much for calling, buddy. And there you have it. Richard, great grandfather, and he'd have no problem. But you can't say it to some people. You cannot say it to some people at all. Going to move on. As I say, everybody's feelings seem to be exactly the same, but I am going to move on. And I'm going to talk about beauty pageants. Now, I happened to be flicking through TV there a couple of days ago. Every now and again, I go on to normal TV. I stream, but I can receive, TV channels, normal TV channels, and I just happened to see a beauty pageant, and it was young girls. It was very, very young girls. Now, first of all, I didn't know that the stream or that they had them on TV. Maybe it was highlights of it, and I looked at it, and I just kind of I looked at it for a second. I was like, that to me is wrong. Now, yes, I know I grew up in Ireland. I know I grew up on a completely different continent where that kind of thing is not really done. I'm not going to say it's not acceptable or it's not anything like that, but it's not something that is the norm. Beauty pageants are not the norm in Europe or on there is Miss World and there is Miss Ireland. Yes, there is, but they're older girls. They're girls 18, 19, 20. Not little prepubescent girlies. And I just thought, again, it's what I was harking to earlier on, is that I think we're trying to get kids to grow up too quickly. Now, the question as to whether or not beauty pageants should be banned, and I haven't said that, it's a complex one, and it's very strong arguments. It has very strong arguments on both sides. Some people will argue that, pageants promote self-esteem and they're providing valuable skills and, other points that kind of potentially harm, particularly for child contestants. And one of them is the sexualization and physicality issues and psychological issues as well. There's arguments saying that it definitely does build self-esteem and confidence. And I can see that. Yes, I can. But does it kind of develop cattiness as well? Is there a kind of a hatred ensued in it? And some people say that pageants can provide young girls with opportunities to build confidence, develop their public speaking skills, and learn about new goal settings. And yeah, I know public speaking is a big thing, and you do need to develop your confidence. You see some kids, and they're very they're terrified in large group scenarios. And it's community involvement, and some pageants offer scholarships. I mean, there's lots of pros. There's scholarship opportunities, and they're going to encourage community services. There's uh, some participants give back to the community. They'll do charity events, and I mean, there's lots of it. There's personal growth opportunities, discipline. It can instill discipline into some people, but there's the other side of it as well, and this is the side that I have a little bit of problems with, is that it's a sexualization of tiny kids. You've got little girls 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, and they're getting covered in makeup, they're wearing revealing clothing, costumes, they're mimicking behavior that adult women will have. Again, I'm harking back to letting kids be kids. There's psychological harm because it focuses on the physical appearance, and it can lead to eating disorders. Like, I'm a big guy. I will 100% tell you, I am 250 pounds, which is less than I was at Christmas, but we're not going to talk about that now. I'm a big guy. I'm not small. I've got man boobs. Yes, I do. 100%. I've got love handles. And if I care about my appearance, I'd like to be thinner, I'd like to be leaner, but I'm going to do it the right way. I'm not going to develop eating disorders, but young girls will. And if there's a young girl, and as well as I do, kids are not the shape that they're going to be when they're older. I was a little bit pudgy when I was a kid, and then I leaned up for quite a while, and then I got big again. There's young girls out there who might have a little bit of puppy fat on them. And they do. Young girls will have a little bit of weight on them. And there might be another girl who's very thin, very thin. Self-esteem is going to be a big problem on that. On the text, Odie, I think beauty pageants are creepy for little girls. Odie, beauty pageant moms, they are all the crazy. Yes, texter. That is something that I want to talk about, is beauty pageant moms. Have you seen them? Have you seen them? 9 times out, no, I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10. A few times you'll see a beauty pageant mom, and she's a big woman. She's a big lady. And, she is forcing her daughter to have this eating regime. She's forcing her to have a beauty regime. She's forcing her to do this, this, and this. She's living vicariously through her child. But yet she's not looking after herself. She's pushing her child too hard. I've seen it. What was the show, Beauty Pageant Moms? Have you watched that show? There was a lady who looked after herself so badly that she couldn't even walk. She didn't look after herself at all. She put all of her money into her child winning the beauty pageant. Her child was talentless. I hate to say it. Every child has a talent, but God love this poor kid. She had no talent at all. Get your thoughts. Keep coming into me about beauty pageants. We know where I stand. I want to see where you're standing. Is it a thing that we finally, once and for all, should say, wait until they're older, wait until the girls are 18, they're able to make their own decisions, or, they can do what they want to do, and we can find other ways to instill better living for kids. We can show them how to we can show them how to public speak. Public speaking is not that hard. I do it all the time. It's not. It's one of those shows tonight. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. That's the thing. You know what, guys? It's a little bit bright in this room. I'm going to darken it up. That's a bit better. Ah! John, if you're still on, buddy, I can just imagine. You're kind of like you're. I don't know who that is. Give me one. Oh yeah, John, you're cooking them in front of their friends. Um, Now, if you just join me, we are talking about beauty pageants. I'm going to wrap it up on this. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800 905 0989. Odi is just child abuse, 100% child abuse. Odi, all of the all of the moms, I believe you're on about the beauty pageant moms. They're all fat and they all smoke Marlboros. I don't know. I haven't seen many of them. Odie, what I don't understand is why nobody was ever arrested for the murder of, is it Joan Bennett Ramsey? Now, I didn't know who that was, so I had to look it up. 1996, there was a 6-year-old girl by the name of Joan Bennett Ramsey, and she was murdered, and there has never been anybody found. Now, when I was looking at that, there's a photograph of the little girl, an absolutely gorgeous little thing, but she's she, she's covered in makeup. They're making her look like a 30-year-old woman. It is as somebody on the text line said, it is child abuse. It is child abuse. Odie, my mother got me dressed up, got me drama lessons to build confidence, giving monologues and being in plays is always a lot of fun. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have been in lots of plays. I have tread the boards as a thespian many times, and it is absolutely amazing. I love doing it. I can't recommend it enough. If your kid shows, even if they don't, just bring them down. If your kid is, showing some signs of being a little bit crazy, a little bit different, because all of us stage kids were a little bit different, a little bit crazy. But yes, no, it is absolutely fantastic. On the stream, these events are extremely awkward to go to, especially if your girlfriend is in one of them. That comes from, I won't say his name, but it's it comes from someone that knows from experience. Odie, they should all be banned. You should ban. They are child abuse, 100% child abuse. This one just in. Odie, yeah, no, 100%. There is no good that ever comes from them. Like, I did get one text during the ad break. It said, Odie, it's gone worse because now they're letting trans little girls into beauty pageants. That sickens me. That 100% sickens me. First of all, if you have a trans little girl, you need to examine yourself as a parent. Let them grow up. It's not in fashion to turn your little boy into a little girl. Stop it. Beauty pageants for underage girls are meat markets for pedophiles. They should be outlawed. I'm with you on that one. There is beauty pageants for young ladies, young girls, and can anybody go to them? Are they just there? I mean, they're normally in auditoriums, no. Texture, I'm with you on that one. Underage girls, it's a meat market for pedophiles. Yeah. Well, we're going to leave it on that one, and we all know Odie's thoughts on beauty pageants. No, they're definitely not. Now, have you been watching your streaming services, or have you been watching TikTok? I know you probably have. TikTok is a great way to spend mindless hours scrolling through death scrolling. Have you done death scrolling? Yes, where you just keep scrolling. You're normally sitting in the smallest room in the house. Yeah, you're quite comfortable, and you're getting a load off your mind. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And yeah. You're scrolling, in that prone position, not in the prone position, but your knees are on your elbow, or your elbows are on your knees. Yeah. You're sitting and thinking long and hard. Yeah. That's what yeah. Have you been scrolling through TikTok or Facebook or whatever it is? And you will see that there is a lot of strangeness happening around Yellowstone. Is Yellowstone waking up? Is Yellowstone waking up? Well, scientists have said no, it is not, even though it probably is. There's been lots of people posting that there's new geysers have erupted and that there's new sinkholes opened up. There's new areas of the park that it's no longer safe to go to that have just sprang up in the last couple of weeks. But officials are saying no, Yellowstone is not waking up in the sense of imminent large eruption. While there have been some seismic and hydrothermal events, scientists from the USGS have confirmed that these do not indicate major volcanic events like that is likely to occur soon. Yellowstone is an active volcano, and monitoring data shows no unusual changes that would suggest that there is an impending eruption. Little bit more detail is that the hydrothermal activity in Yellowstone experiences hydrothermal explosions. You know the geyser, you know Old Faithful. You've seen it. You might have even gone there. I'm hoping. I'm hoping to get there at some stage. I want to go to Yellowstone and see the place. I might even go on my motorcycle. That'd be fun. The explosions are caused while by water flashing into steam, and it comes up from magma movement. And such events occurred in June, with hydrothermal explosions as not a sign of volcanic activity. You see, I'm not 100% sure because we don't know. No, we don't know. I mean, they're saying that there's been some micro earthquake. Oh, did you feel the earthquake last week? There was an earthquake. I think it was last week or the week before. I I was just in the house, and next thing, the whole thing, I was like, oh, okay. Now it was tiny. Apparently, it was a really tiny earthquake, but it was the first one I felt, the first one that I ever felt. But scientists also say that if, see, I love the way. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. See, here's the thing. Right? Scientists say it's okay, lads. Don't worry, we got this. No, not at all. Not at all. Listen, we've got the white coats on us, and we've got the stethoscopes, and we've got loads of pens in our pocket. So we know these things, and we've got letters after our names. I've got letters after my name. They don't mean anything. Well, they do. But we've got letters after names. So we know, we know that Yellowstone is not going to explode. Now, here's the thing. We know it's an active volcano. Yeah, we understand that. We get that. Don't worry. But we also know that it's not going to explode, except it might. See, they can't be 100% sure. But don't worry. Don't worry. If you're listening to me on the FM, so if you're in Georgia or in South Carolina, North Carolina, and I think we break up, into a few states up above North Carolina. And, I think on a good night, we can be heard in Tennessee. And, on a very good night, you can hear us in little bits of Florida. But we're all okay. We're all safe. If Yellowstone does go, we'll feel it. We'll hear it. We'll experience volcanic winter, which is when the ash cloud goes up into the clouds and blocks out the sun. No, we'll experience all of that. That'll be fun, but yeah, we're going to be safe. We're going to be okay. We're not in the bad place zone. Now, if you're over in Washington, or if you're over in the Dakotas, or Minnesota, or places like that, or if you're listening to this on the Odyssey app in Yellowstone, you're goosed. I'm sorry. You're a good person. You really are a good person. But you're just it's not going to work. So what's going to happen is the whole Pompeii thing is going to happen, and you're just going to gone. That's it. You're just there 1 minute, and the next thing you know, you'll hear a loud bang, and then there gone. Oh, yeah, I know. Sorry. Yeah, that's the sound you make. Listen. I know these things, right? That is the sound that you make when you disappear from a volcano. You're just there 1 minute, and all of a sudden, gone. There it is, gone. That's the sound you make. Odi, I saw Old Faithful in 1966. There is something wrong with me. I know there is. I saw Old Faithful in 1966. Odi, look up geoengineering. Like with Dale, is it Dane Winnington? And yes, it is active. Oh, no, it is 100%. It is active. Odi, this Scott loves Odi of Era. You are one of the sane ones, and I mean Scott. Okay, Scott, just sit right back here for a second. Or, well, I'm going to call you Scott. He's one of the Scots. Just sit back for a second. You're saying that I'm one of the sane ones? I just made the sound of somebody popping after being hit by a volcano. You know that. There, gone. It's gone. Away. There you go again. Oh, another one. Oh, another one gone. Oh, got one more. There's a few more. Got it again. Newstalk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the volcanoes. Hello, buddy. Did you get my text? I sent you a text. Yes, I know I need a haircut. Oh, welcome back to the last last segment of the show. No, you know what? I'm not sorry. You'll pop. You just go. That's it. Gone. Odie, Odie, you go out like a post. You go out as a post toasty. Odie, the popping sound is funny, but I always imagined humans sounding like popcorn popping. So there we go. Only the problem with Yellowstone is that if it does erupt, it would likely bury the eastern half of the country and we would get buried under ash. Yeah, that's what vacuum cleaners are for. You'd be fine. Be grand. Just cover up the ash. I got a text in and it tugged on the heartstrings a little bit. Odie, I've been listening to your show for a couple of months now and I absolutely love it. You can be talking about something very, very dark and something very, very sincere. Next thing you know, you're talking about humans popping like popcorn from an eruption. Absolutely love the show. Sunday night is not the same without you. Yeah, no, that's what I do. You know, look at if you were in my brain for 5 minutes, you probably wouldn't survive. It's a completely different place inside in there. But I want to say thank you to absolutely everybody that is part of the show, that tunes in, that listens, because you are the reason that I do this show. You're the reason that I come here on Sunday evenings and talk. That's what I do it for. So thank you very, very much to absolutely everybody that tunes in and listens. Now, as you know, I was talking a lot about mental health, men's mental health, and health in general. And here's the thing: I don't just I don't say to you to make sure you check yourself out and make sure you get checked out and make sure that everything's okay with your body and guys and girls. No, I don't just say to do it as well. I actually do it myself. I definitely do it myself, and I check it. I make sure I'm on top of things. Well, I'll tell you, and I'm going to tell you this because it turned out everything's okay. I was in a couple of weeks ago. I was in the shower, and as I said, best place to do anything is when you're in the shower. And I was cleaning up everything, as you do, having a good scrub and cleaning. I look at we're all adults here. I was cleaning my testicles, and as you do, and I found something that I wasn't too sure about. Something that I was kind of like, oh, that's probably not supposed to be there. So I went to my doctor. And I said it to my doctor. I said, I was checking myself out and I found something that probably shouldn't be there. And the doctor said to me, all right, you know the procedure, drop them, let's take a look. Dropped them, took a look. And doctor said to me, you know what? Not 100% sure on this. Could be nothing. Could be absolutely nothing, or it could be something. So I tell you what, we're going to proceed the next steps and we're going to go get you an ultrasound. And we get an ultrasound on that. So a little bit nervous. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was a little bit nervous and went and got my ultrasound. And yes, I did say to the person it was a lovely nurse, lovely radiographer, lovely radiographer who made me feel very at ease, very relaxed, explained absolutely everything to me, extremely discreet, said to me, strip from the waist down, get onto the bed, put a towel over you. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Knocked on the door, came back in. She said, okay, I'm going to move this around here. You can watch up on the screen and everything perfectly discreet. You don't have to worry about it. Remember this. Those medical professionals, they've seen it all before. They have seen every shape, size, everything. They don't care. They're there to help you. So we done the ultrasound on the plums. Some people like when I say that, but I don't know why. And I checked out and everything, and it turns out it's a hernia. And I have no problem talking about that. No problem talking about that at all. So we're going on to the next steps, and yeah, you'll be getting it fixed. And I said it to my doctor, and I said it to the radiologist, radiologist. I said, or radiographer. Sorry, I said, how common is this? I said, very. It's extremely common. It's extremely common. Males get hernia into around the testicle area. It's something that happens. And 9 times out of 10, everything is fine. We go in, do a small little operation, and we fix everything. So I'm here to say that I don't just tell y'all to do it. I look at things myself. I check out things myself. And I advise you to do the same, because when you're in the shower, best place to do it. Go to your doctor. Your doctor will say to you, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's okay. We got you. And the thing is, if it turns out to be something, now, as I said, with me, it's a hernia. That's these things happen. But if it turns out to be something big, if you're checking regularly, if you're making sure that everything is okay regularly, on the regular, you're going to notice something very fast. You're going to notice something very quick. You're going to get to your doctor quickly. They're going to take care of it quickly. And remember, when it comes to all this kind of stuff, speed is of the essence. Okay? Make sure you stay in contact with your doctor at all times. If you're due a checkup, go and get a checkup done. I'm living proof of it. I checked up. I checked myself out, and everything's okay. And I sincerely hope if you find anything yourself, go doctor, go early, go now, go tomorrow. If you found something over the weekend, if you found something the last couple of weeks, last month, go to the doctor. Look, I'm a male. We're stubborn as hell. I get that. Go to your doctor. Trust me on this one. And there's other things as well, and I talk about it. If you're finding that the world is getting on top of you, if you find that the world is getting a little bit scary, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not able for this. I'm not able to get on with this. There's always help. Remember, check out your body, your physical body, go to your doctor. Your mental body, there's someone out there for you as well. If you think times are getting a little bit too hard, a little bit too tough, remember there is help out there in the form of the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The phone number is 988. That is the phone number for them, 988. If you're saying, Odi, I can't, man, seriously, come on, I can't call them. I don't want to call them. I feel weird. I can't call them. Don't worry. First of all, it is so okay not to feel okay. Second of all, you're not going to feel weird about it, because if you don't want to talk to them, you can text them. Text number 988. Same number, just like us, same number. One number does both things. You can call them or you can text them. Don't suffer alone. Don't suffer in silence. If you feel you can't talk to a friend, can't talk to a family member, can't talk to anybody around you, there's always someone out there to talk to. 100% always someone out there to talk to. Now, something else I want to chat about as well, really quickly, because I know we're running out of time, is the heat advisory. I done something very silly yesterday. I went out doing some yard work yesterday. That was just silly. Stay indoors, stay in the aircon. If it's too hot for you, it's too hot for your pets, bring them inside. Trust me on this one, bring your pets inside. Look after yourselves. Don't go out into the heat if you can help it. Really don't go out into the heat if you can help it, because it's going to get very hot in the next couple of days. I think they're saying it's going to be up around 100 degrees, and humidity is going to be bad as well. So stay safe. Get your aircon checked. Remember, if you put your aircon at 20 degrees, it's not going to cool it down to 20 degrees. Aircon is only going to get about 20 to 25 degrees colder than it is outside. Joey's going to be back tomorrow morning, and Tara, and Bill, and Mike, wrapping up with Charlie. I've been Odi Fitzgerald. Thank you so much. Talk to you next week. Slán Abhaile. Bye. All right, my streamers. Okay. All right, my streamers. I will talk to you next week. Have a fantastic week. Talk to you then. Slán Abhaile. Bye.